Hey everyone, this is Trevor Miles, he, him, his.
Dean Richards, he, him, his.
And today we are talking about how you define success.
Trevor, what is the opposite of success?
Why do I fail so much?
Do I fail less than you?
Why is everyone doing better than I am?
What does better look like?
Isn't the best of everything just happiness?
I wonder if happiness can have a little bit of sadness.
Who needs sadness when you have success?
If you have success, do you have everything?
Doesn't success make me feel complete?
I wonder if I'm okay dying an incomplete life.
And mortality. My goodness, that ended grave, Mr. Dean, but this is something important to think about. What do we feel is success? Do we feel like we need to leave something on this planet, a legacy of sorts? Do we feel like we need to have that specific car, that specific home, that specific partner? Do we need to have a cookie cutter or a carbon copy life in order to say, yes, we were successful? What does that look like? What does success in work look like that you're not getting paid to do? What does emotional success look like? These are all things that we want to start to talk about today as we kind of unpack what success looks like for us in our opinions. And hopefully we can open up your minds a little bit about what success has been for you and where you are headed.
You know, thinking about some of the things you mentioned, if I remember correctly, they were material things. Thinking back to when I was younger, I would have to say my definition of success has changed since then. I was never a very much material person. I never thought success meant millions of dollars, fancy cars, nice suits, and all that stuff. No. But I did think that success looked like me leaving the environment I was in, which were a series of blighted or underserved communities, and going to a space where it was safer, healthier, more vivacious. And with that, I always thought naturally would come certain material things like a house or a car or whatever. They weren't really my goal, but they were, I guess, a secondary effect of achieving that goal. So success to me, when I was younger, looked like raising a kid somewhere where I wouldn't have to worry about gunshots or wouldn't have to worry about him getting caught up in a bad situation that he had nothing to do with. That's what it was, and what it was is still embedded in who I am now and what I believe. But I think for me, success has turned into kind of three main things. What makes me happy, or something that makes me happy, rather, doing something that makes me happy. Leaving behind a legacy that makes the world a better place for people other than myself. And being able to say, if I go to sleep tonight and I don't wake up tomorrow, that I'm satisfied with the life I've lived. I think I would have to say those are the three core tenets of success for me. What about you? Where does that lie, Trevor?
One of the beginning prompts that was important for me to put into this space was, what does emotional success look like for you? Because that's something that I've always been after. Always wanted to learn how to be so comfortable in my skin and my presentation how I'm showing up into a space, that whatever shirt someone was trying to hand me, I would not wear it. Or, I won't take that emotional train to that stop over there. That's not my train. So emotional success for me has been something I've been working on for a long time in therapy. As I speak to family members, as I speak to past partners, trying to mend some situations, emotional success to me looks like being so comfortable with you that you are just not easily swayed by the stupid stuff that this world throws at you. The dumb cell phone attendant at the store, the landlord who's just being a butthole, right? Those real world things that we are going to face as adults, or that crazy test that you're studying for. And this is any age, because we are all still students. That crazy test that you're just like, oh my God, this information, what? How can you go through something in life and not be swayed and affected by it? I'm not there yet. Totally can admit that. I am working on that every day. I do tend to look at some issues and problems as bigger than they are. So I do not see myself completely successful in that way. But I've not given up on it. And I think that also is something that success looks like. Trying again and again, and trying sometimes a different way, and being open to other interpretations. Because where I may see, oh, I'm failing right here, I'm not doing great right here, other people might be like, boy, you're doing amazing. What are you talking about? So that is success right there, being able to open up and talk to other people about where I am on my journey. And I will say out loud into the space, I have a lot of cyclic negative thoughts. I'm constantly beating myself up so the outside world cannot. And that is not success to me. But the fact that I keep attacking that is success to me. So that's a way I'm trying to reframe my thinking. I battle it back with something a little bit more powerful, a little bit more optimistic, and that's what keeps me going every day.
I can't help but make a reference here that shows my age. You reminded me of the movie 8 Mile, where Eminem was battle rapping, and he got up on stage and said everything negative about himself before the opposing rapper could get on stage and say it, and then the opposing rapper got on stage and had nothing to say. Very interesting defense mechanism you have there, if you will. I just want to ask you for clarity. We're talking about success in general. You mentioned specifically emotional success. Could you please help me understand, and the audience understand, does that mean there's mental success, there's physical success? Why did you specifically draw attention to emotional success versus other types of success, or the success in general?
Success in general to me sounds superficial. That's where we talk about the money, the cars, I have this many likes on Facebook, this many followers. And that has always been an aspect of my career, of my work. We want people to sit down in the theater. We need ticket sales. We need people to attend the event, the thing. I need students to enroll for my classes. For instance, right? You hear that? The need. That was always what success kind of looked like. When I got a little older, success looked like, oh, I got invited to this event. I have to pay for the ticket. Oh, they flew me out, girl. Made it.
You
success.
got fluted out?
I got fluted out, girl. Wait, that sounds crazy. Don't say that.
That's what they say.
Don't say that. But yeah, that was success for a while. That idea. So we can definitely talk superficial success, but I know what I am battling right now is emotional success, because I just get so flustered by things day to day, and it causes me to act out in ways that do not help me. But I cannot stand that argument happened and I just didn't have the right words. Or I feel like I was not equipped enough to deal with a situation at work, or a business deal that I wasn't quite able to close because I just showed up not the best version of me. Darn, I should have did that spreadsheet a little bit better, right? The budget looked crazy. So that can be mental success a little bit. Are you a continuously learning student, right? Are you still hitting the books? But for me, after you get a no, after you don't hit that benchmark, how do you feel? How do you act? That is emotional success. And that's what I'm after for Trevor. I do not have the best emotional success at times that I could. And there are days where I am angry, upset, in turmoil, and it has nothing to do with me. It's completely outside of me. This is kind of a sidebar conversation, but I want to let the audience in. Do you remember the day I called you and I was like so distraught about concentration camps in other countries. And I was just like, oh my God, Dean, I want to do something.
Yeah.
I want to make a phone call, or I want to go like help people escape. Like, I don't understand how you could be born into this. And like, you're just a kid growing up in this camp and you have no idea why you're there. Like, I was like the whole night so upset, and we talked on the phone for hours. Thank you for being there. But like, I got so upset about that, and not to say that I shouldn't be. We should all be standing up, super mad about it. You almost made me cuss on air for the first time, girl. You should be super mad about it. However, the way that I channeled my energy that night, you know, it's just something to look at. There are moments we have to feel so emotionally heavy and sit through it. But there are some times it's like, all right, Trev, serenity prayer, right? This is something out of my control. I cannot control this thing. Should I let this thing weigh me for my day, for my life? And I very much can get bogged down by issues of the world. Environmentalism. If I see one more fish with a plastic 6-pack around its neck, like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Because I know the audience can hear the little bubbles and the air filters in the background. We are recording in a different space today because I wanted to be by my fish. And I have such a new connection to like nature and animals now. It devastates me, some of the things we do environmentally. But again, emotional success. What am I doing with that energy? Am I sitting around real sad about it and then crying on the phone? Am I writing a letter to, you know, a politician? What am I getting done with that? That really for me falls into emotional success. And then also like letting go of stuff from the past. Didn't we talk about that on an earlier episode that everybody need to go hear? I don't know. Letting go of of some of the weight that I put on those things from back there, those artifacts, I call them. That's not the best emotional success. If we were in emotional Olympics right now, I'm going to be in the bathroom crying probably. Not even on the field participating. Or I might get the gold medal for being the most emotional about the thing. Like, I don't know which one. But I would love to learn that calm sense of temperament around some issues that just don't involve me, or that I can't control yet. Because one day I'm going to be famous enough to handle some of these issues in this world. Oh, yes, I am.
Legally handle them.
Girl, yeah, you're right, legally. But for today, you know, I'm just sitting here, just another person who sees some travesties in the world, and I'm like, nah, that's not cool. That doesn't sit well with my spirit. But like, what can I do? I have to be a better me before I can try to save people. You know what I mean? And that's why I, for me, brought up emotional success.
I appreciate that clarity. Ironically, as we were sitting here talking, you was like, oh, you almost made me cuss on air. And it was funny because I realized in that moment, I literally didn't say anything. I just was sitting here across from you as your co-host, being the energy that I was, and that helped you feel free enough to like evoke what your emotions were.
I was about to cuss.
And for me, success, an example of success is like what just happened, what I just laid out happened. I was able to either speak, or in this case, not speak, and help create an environment where you felt comfortable to give your emotions, to speak about your journey. And you know, I mentioned earlier that success for me looks like creating a better world than what was here before you came. And I think it's a beautiful thing when I think about some of the issues that are going on around the world, like you mentioned, and I want to do something. What is also beautiful is when I know that is not my journey, that is not my lived experience. I cannot speak to that, but I know how to create a platform for those who can, for them to share their journey, because that's part of a success, that part of success is considered success because I know that my life is finite. I will die someday. I'm working to create a span of leaders behind me that will be able to share their stories, because I've helped them learn that it's okay to share their stories, and then hopefully they pass it on to others. So like, even though my life is finite, that's a infinite chain of space that you can provide to the world. So I guess that's one way in which I kind of help carve out my little own definition of success. And I appreciate the opportunities that you give to me, to where you can be vulnerable, and in turn you allow me to continue asking you, or pressing you, or giving you my ear so that I can hear what you have to offer.
You're welcome. I think there are also, I don't want to say more tangible ideas of what success can be, but there are other things I use to kind of scale. Do I feel successful in this thing I'm doing, this conversation I'm having, trying to have a difficult point across with someone, or get a difficult point across to somebody, I should say. Am I successful in the work that I'm doing? Community service work or artistic work? And at the top of that list, am I having fun? I think I heard you mention that.
Yes, I did. I'm sorry to stop you. I just wanted to make sure I understand you correctly, because I have my own vision of what you're saying. It sounds like you're speaking about a little bit about success within success. Like, did you achieve success by initiating a conversation that might have been uncomfortable with somebody? Yes. A micro level of that is, am I being successful in communicating this individual point within the conversation?
Am I being heard in it? Yeah, in this. Because,
Okay.
I mean, you can bring to somebody, hey, I told you quit slamming my door, but, like, are they hearing you? What's the way you're getting that business done? You open that conversation, step one, the message, step two. And then are you being receptive to what they said? Hey, I had to slam that door because there was actually a spider right there, and I'm scared of spiders, so I had to get that thing. Could have been, whatever it may be. Are you hearing what they have to give back? There's a bunch of successes in any situation we partake.
I appreciate that. And I wanted to, I only took time to acknowledge that because I want to acknowledge that there is macro success, overarching success, and there's micro success. And micro success can be within that higher, more general concept of success, because that's so important to achieve whatever version of success you feel you want to achieve. Don't just say, oh, well, I met this general requirement of success as I define it, and then I'm done, and then you give up. No, there's more success that can be created.
I don't remember if I used this example before, but I'm glad you brought that up, and it will tie me into also having fun. But, because again, fun is like everything. But I mentioned how much work it takes to get a piece of art to the stage. The first success is that we all made it into the studio space and learned this material. That's number one. We all showed up. Number two, we all executed the material on stage. Everyone got their moves. Maybe not 100% perfect, but you got up on stage and did something you've never done before, young one. I am proud of you. Number three, we got an audience to come and see us, see the work. That is 3 successes right there. Do you see what I'm saying? So, like, whenever you break things down in that way, it's not just hey, did we make $8,000 off the show? No, who cares? There's kids learned something today. Audience saw a new story today and saw something from a different vantage point that they'd not thought of. I put some stories up on stage.
You could do a pay as you can, and you get $8 instead of 8,000, and you've changed lives.
Changed lives, because some of those students will never stop dancing, and then they're going to be better than me, and then they're going to go open their own dance studios. Yes, y'all, get it. Y'all better be better than Mr. Trevor. That's what the goal is. The students are supposed to surpass the teacher. You got to light that fire. So that is a success. And so I like that. Micro, macro, it's not all numbers. I know a lot of us like our numbers when it comes to success. Like, oh, what's my income this year? I made, 50% more money than last year. But, like, did your audience say that they were happier with your material?
Or at what cost?
Or at what cost did you do the extra success, right? Did you attain that? So that's fair. But yes, so I say all that to say, it makes me think of dance. It makes me think of the stage. And even though, it's great that the kids learned the routine, and it's great that people came, and it's great that they clapped, and it's great that the lighting designer did their job on the right moment, was it fun? And that's what I use to weigh every single thing I do. If the movie's boring, I'm falling asleep. Was what we were partaking in fun? If it's feeding my soul, it could be free. I'm not getting paid. It's community service. That's fine. But if it's fun as heck, then I'm about it. So for me, success is having fun in the work that you're doing. I never, ever, ever again will wake up and do a job and, I don't want to go to this. I ain't got this. I will never again take an assignment that I feel like that with, and I haven't in a long time.
Props to that. I had that exact moment. 2021. I had that exact realization about 6 years ago myself. I committed to not applying to something that I didn't enjoy, at least not something as my main source of income that I didn't enjoy. So
yeah, am I having fun, and is this making me smile? If I can be on transit on my way home and it's crowded, we're like sardines, but I'm smiling because I just had a good day at what I did, That's it. That is success right there, because you have a job, you have transportation money, you have a home to go to, and you had a good day. 4 successes right there. And it's like been 6 seconds. Like, come on, girl. So count your successes, count the blessings, and look at the different levels of what success is. However,
Dun, dun, dun.
dun dun dun, Mr. Trevor has to look at all sides of it though, and there is a numbers thing to this success. And we have to be honest, because even though it's amazing to put our God-given talents and our skills into the world, you got to get that coin. You got to get paid. So am I getting paid enough to live off of this thing I'm doing? I do consider that to be success a little bit. For me, this is for me. And please, take from it what you will. But you can be one of the best at your thing, right? Your craft, and you're not getting paid anything. Those smiles are going to go so far. The smiles are beautiful, but the smiles are the smiles is not going to buy you no food in that fridge. And you can't go up to the grocery store. Hey, if I smile at you hard enough and you see my teeth is brushed, is you going to give me a bread? No. Is you going to give me a bread, girl? You hear it? Like, right. They're going to be looking at you just like that. Like, no. So if you're getting paid enough to do something you really, really like, that is success. Take that success. I'm giving myself snaps on that. When you're walking away with enough money to be financially sound, and no, you don't have to be rich. You don't have to be the director level at your position. You don't have to be the originator, creator, president of your field. As long as you're just making enough to live, and that's okay for you, that is okay for you. Do not compare yourself to everybody else in the company, and then you trying to cut throats and stuff in the boardroom meetings because you want that promotion. Yes, be competitive, but don't look at that as success, because do you know what they had to do to get that job? You know what stress they live in doing that job? You good, and appreciate and be glad for what you have. Strive if you want more, but again, recognize the success. I am living off of what I love to do, and I'm actually making this thing work. That's enough. Stop chasing this unattainable dream that's not real.
And I want to draw attention to, you mentioned living. I want to draw attention to a standard of living.
Standard.
Some people set the standard of living that is, as some would say, ghetto fabulous.
We not Michael Jordan.
They live beyond their means. They spend money on things that are luxurious when they don't have a luxurious income or expendable income.
Quit buying Gucci belts when you can't spell luxurious.
Right? But no, in all seriousness, that you reminded me of a standard. One of the things that I contemplated was my car. I have a car that I got in 2014. I just finished paying that car off in August of 2019, so I own the car outright. It's mine. It's still chugging along. It's a reliable Toyota Corolla. And it's starting to have some issues, as cars do at this age. It's starting to look a little used and things like that. It still runs perfectly. And I thought, oh man, it would be really nice to get the car I've really been wanting now that, I have a job or source of income that pays a little bit more. I said, oh, how nice would it be to get like a newer car? Because this car is approaching 7 years old. It has, 100 and, 40-something thousand miles, which is young for a life of Corolla. How nice would it be to get an updated version of a car that has less miles or looks fancier or isn't quite as worn? And I've had my eye on one particular type of car, but I had to sit down and say to myself, Dean, that's actually the opposite of success in this moment, because you would be saying to yourself, I want this new thing, even though the thing I currently have works fine. I want to replace this thing I currently have with something that is nicer that I don't really need. And you'd be doing that in a situation where, let's be honest, given your professional status right now, you may be making money, but your source of income is not guaranteed for the next 5 years, which is the average life of a car note. You don't know where income is coming from, and you're going to go out and make this big purchase. That makes no sense. So I had to live within my means. The standard of living, I had to realize I needed to keep it where it was and not bring it to a level where it was unmanageable. And to me, that's a success, a small success, but a success that I hold on to.
Realizing what you have, what you really need, and what you can upgrade to safely. I say financially safely. We all would like a bigger couch. You know how long I've been mad about getting a TV, and I missed it on Black Friday, and then I missed it on Christmas, and now it is whole, like, I don't even know what month, and I still don't have that new TV. And the TV that I have now, I'm telling on my whole self, I got this TV back in 2007, 8. This TV is old.
That Dynex is dynamite. I just said a dad
Don't
joke.
say the brand name out loud.
Oh, my bad. I just said a whole dad joke.
You gonna tell people I got a cheap TV, girl? Why you gonna do that?
It's alright, it's cheap. It's cool. It's cool.
No, but I got this TV from Best Buy, and I was going to college, and I was like, hey, I want a TV, and it's been working. That's great, but I've been fighting upgrading. Like, do I need to do that? It still works. I'm good. Now, am I the same on the cell phone front? No, we're not gonna talk about that because, well, we're going to talk about it. Last week, Trevor...
You said we weren't. I'm confused.
But no, this is me feeding into your point and telling people, don't be a me. Don't be a Mr. Trevor. Don't be a me.
I thought you were successful. We ain't supposed to aim to... What?
Don't be successful in this way. Listen to this.
Okay.
I decided I wanted to upgrade my phone, and so I decided to buy 2 phones a week ago, and then realized I didn't want either of them. So I've been going through this process the last week of getting returns on an iPhone and a Pixel. And I couldn't decide if I wanted the Android or Apple system. And neither one. I didn't like either one. So I went back to the old phone I had anyway, years ago. The same old device. Like, why am I trying to upgrade? Who am I following? I want to see the blue text messages for what? I want to have the fastest, best camera on Google for what? Like, I'm trying to keep up with something that I don't really need. I'm not really taking those photos. I'm not really doing anything with those phones beyond FaceTiming y'all. You know what I mean? Like... So I need to, like you said, to your point, see what you need to upgrade. Think about it. Sit with that. Don't just make those purchases because, no. You spending your money for no reason. And so what? You can get a plaque on your wall and wave the bright, oh, look at this new thing I got. You wasting your money.
And an incredibly important point. What was that? That was not English.
That's okay.
I'm going to re-speak, and this part is going to stay in. An incredibly important point is, what are you willing to sacrifice? I know this because you and I talk offline. Your cell phone is older. It works, but your text messaging is not always on par. Sometimes I'll be sending you messages and you don't get them
tomorrow
until tomorrow, or you don't get them at all. And so it's a strong inconvenience to go back to your old phone and to try to have, especially when you're doing a podcast with someone, have time-sensitive conversations. So let's just beat you with a feather here.
Oh, I'll get the Galaxy 21 if that's what you're saying.
No.
If that's what you're saying.
Oh, okay. Let's beat you with a feather here, and let's say that, like, part of you want a new phone, not just because you want a new phone, but because it was extremely inconvenient for actual business to communicate on your old device. So first of all, beat yourself with a feather. You didn't just want it just because it was glamorous. Let's be fair about that. And kind to Trevor.
Thank you.
And because I care about Trevor, I want to be kind to him. He should be kind to himself too.
Aww.
But secondly, you had a moment, I want to unpack it a little bit, where you challenged your idea of what it meant to be conveniently to be inconvenienced, or excuse me, you were open to challenge yourself to think about, what is my level of convenience that I need? What can it look like if I'm inconvenienced? And so you said to yourself, do I need these new phones? No. Could I go back to my old phone? Yes. Would it be inconvenient to not be able to speak through text quickly? Yes. But you went and you found ways to stick with the standard you have instead of living beyond your means. And so you looked up apps that you can text message through and have efficient communication with me through, and said, darn it, if I have to lower the standard or stay at the standard I'm at, that's cool because there's other ways around it. I'm willing to be inconvenienced so that I live within my means and I don't go way beyond. I just wanted to unpack that a little bit.
I appreciate that. You did that very masterfully. That was very, very good. Yeah, we got to just not say stay in your lane. I mentioned it a little earlier. Always strive for more if you want more, but unpack a little bit. What's the inconvenience? What are you willing to sacrifice? And what are you really grabbing for? What's up there? Or over there? Or beyond, right? What is it? Because you're going to have to give up something to get that new thing. And that new thing could be, again, bringing it back to emotional and mental success. That new thing could be new knowledge. But what do you have to give up to get that new knowledge? Time, resources. You may have to drop some people from your past because you're like, hey, I'm at this point now and you're all at this point right now. And that doesn't help where my brain is headed. So yeah, you have to be willing to sacrifice in order to gain. Always, I think. Maybe not always, but like mostly always. Something's got to give. You can't just be given by the universe and not give something.
No, and you're not going to truly act until, as the saying goes, you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. Because otherwise, all you're just doing is lip service.
One other version of success for me, this is the I won't say the conceited one speaking, but this is the arts teacher speaking. But am I influential? Did the thing I did or said, did it mean something to anyone? If it meant something to me, that means the world. But it is my goal to reach beyond myself. That is the legacy that I want to leave on this planet. That's why we're here, so we can talk to people and have our voices immortalized. Come on. You said earlier, oh, I know that I'm finite on this earth. Nuh-uh, Creatively Curious is always here forever. What are you talking about?
That's recording my voice. I'm going to die. At some point, I will die.
No. You live on through your words, though, and that's very much what I want. Like the lessons that I've given people, and especially my students, but anyone, my people of color, when I speak on stage, my movement, I want you to remember those visuals. I want you to remember the poetry that I added. I want you to remember the things we unpack here and the moments of vulnerability and rawness that we give you. This is us really doing our best to influence and praying that we do. And that is success to me. If I'm influencing another human being by just being all of Trevor, just being Trev. And if that's influencing somebody, then that is success. And that is not me getting paid to do it. That is not. And it is not me being performative or me acting. It is just me being all of me. When I walk down the street, downtown, and y'all be like, Mr. Trevor. And then we having on all them colors. And you're like, that's somebody who's free. Influencing success. Bam. Right there. And it's not, again, not to be superficial with the outfits and stuff, but I'm just saying you see me being me. And you hear me right now talking as me. And that, to me, is success because it is freedom. So that's definitely also success for me, some freedom. Yeah. Yeah.
I could use more of that. I strive to achieve more of that as I move through life. Because I myself, appreciate the opportunities this podcast is bringing me to step outside my comfort zone. I'm somebody who can be very safe. I can be very safe with the way I speak, the things that I share. I can be very strategic and calculated. And if I'm being honest, there are times of me where there are times for me. I don't know what I just said. There are times for me where I am that muted, that calculated, that hidden personality navigating the world, and it doesn't feel right. It feels like there's so many pressures from the outside to be somebody else who isn't fully who I am, and I have to hide that person of who I am. So I just want to put that out there because that's a struggle I still face, and I've gotten very good at it. Code switching, or like being a certain version. Not that I'm fake, but like I'm just very good at like being safe. And to me, being safe doesn't always look like freedom for me. So I just wanted to give an ode to one of the journeys that I'm on and one of the struggles I face, to be free and just say things without feeling worried about the repercussions of others.
I am encouraging our listeners to think about what success looks like for them. Is it a mental success? Is it an academic success? Is it a physical success? Y'all working out this year? Because we ain't got nothing else to do. What does success look like? Are you after a higher position in your company? Or are you after an idea of your higher power? What does that look like? And how can you have it for just you and not compare it to what someone else has? Please sit with that and we so much look forward to talking to you all next week. I am signing off. Trevor here.
Dean here.
And we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
This has been a Trevor C. Media production. Thank you for listening. You can find more Trevor C. Media content on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, or wherever streaming services are available. Please keep following our journey.